Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Sam and you're watching and Sam in Thailand. For those who are new to this channel, so I live in a small village in Isan Thailand. It's the northeastern part of Thailand and I live in the Nakhon Ratchasima province with my Thai wife and Thai child. So I live in a Thai village, but recently I, with my family, visited Bangkok and then we went to Pattaya as well for a few days. So we had a long trip. It was around 10 days trip in total. So I decided to make this video to talk about the differences that I felt living in Pattaya. Before, I have lived in a different B city. It's known as Rayong. So I have lived in Rayong as well, and I have lived in a town in near Bangkok as well. So I decided to make this video to talk about the differences that I felt living over in the cities and the villages. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the differences that a foreigner face when he goes to live in a city versus if he lives in a village. So more so this video is going to be about how it is like to retire in a village compared to retiring in Bangkok and Pattaya. So all in all, I have lived in Thailand for around 4 years now. And from 4 years, I have lived 2 years in this village in Nakhon Ratchasima, and 2 years I have lived in cities. So I feel I may not be that experienced about living in Thailand, but I still have like insights compared to like most of the people who want to retire over here. So hopefully this video is going to be helpful for those people who want to know like the differences between retiring in a village compared to retiring in Bangkok or a big city like Pattaya. Let's get started with today's video and look at the first difference, which is going to be accommodation. Now talking about the accommodation, it's way too easy to find an accommodation in Bangkok and Pattaya because first of all, there are a lot of foreigners living in Bangkok and Pattaya, and not just like retired foreigners, but many foreigners do jobs in Bangkok as well. There are a lot of corporate jobs in Bangkok. So anyway, Bangkok is also known as Kunthep if you don't know. So it's like the local name. So whenever I speak Bangkok, in my mind it goes like Kunthep. So anyway, so yes, there are a lot of jobs in Kunthep as well. So there are a lot of foreigners living over there for a long time, not just retirees. And the same can be said for Pattaya as well. There are a lot of people who do jobs in Sriracha, but they try to rent like condos or villas near Pattaya as well, because Sriracha, if you don't know, is a like industrial kind of a city with a lot of offices. And near Pattaya also we have like seaport, we have like a ferry terminal, big sea terminal as well. So we have a lot of foreigners living in Pattaya as well on long-term basis, and I'm not just talking about the retirees. So yes, Bangkok do have a lot of foreigners. Same can be said with Pattaya as well. So it's way too easy for a foreigner to find a place to live. They can easily find agents who talk a good English as well. But that cannot be said about villages. In villages, it can be hard to find accommodation. If you don't have a wife, you don't have a girlfriend, it can be hard sometimes to find an accommodation. And agents also can sometimes not speak good English. So being a foreigner, it can be hard to communicate with them. But yes, in cities, you can easily find townhouses or condos, even in a San area. There is no problem in that. I even have made videos about condos in Nakhon Ratchasima. If you want to check them out, you can check them out. I will put the link in the comments. So if you want to find a house in like to rent in village, you have to go on Facebook and you have to put like nearest town name, and then you can see the houses on rent or lease in a village. You can check it over here. I will show you guys. Now Facebook Marketplace is a good way to find houses for rent. So I'm just going to select my nearest city, the city of Dankuntot. But if I show you the 20-kilometer radius, there are going to be only 2 houses for rent. So normally in villages, it's not easy to find like houses for rent as well, because people usually don't rent houses in villages. Like in our village also, there is no house available on rent. So sometimes it kind of gets hard in villages that are far from the cities. For example, our village. But if I increase the radius to 40 kilometers, so we will get more results. But then the results from the Nakhon Ratchasima city are also going to be included, which is a big city. So yes, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get houses for rent in villages, but in some villages it's not going to be a problem. But if you want to find houses for rent easily, you can use the Facebook Marketplace to check it out. If you want a good deal, you can find on Facebook. It's not that hard. Even we bought our car over here from Facebook. So you can see that over there. Facebook is way too common here to meet a seller, to find a house to rent, to find a condo. So if you want to find a house, you don't have to go to an agent in villages. You just talk to people directly on their phone number, on their line app. It's way too easy this way to find a house to rent. Okay, so now talking about the transportation, the thing is that Bangkok has one of the best transport system in the world. And talking about the Pattaya, Pattaya also have like one of the nicest transportation system. So I will first talk more about Bangkok, then I will move to Pattaya, then I will move to villages. So the thing is that in Bangkok, we get like BTS and MRT, which are the SkyTrain and the underground train system of Bangkok. So both are efficient, and if somebody lives over there for a longer time period, they can get some kind of passes, like they have unlimited passes for a day as well. So these passes are also useful if somebody travels a lot using BTS and MRT. So we have BTS and MRT, and then we have buses. So the buses are way too cheap in Bangkok. For non-AC buses, I think the fare is way too cheap. And for like a 30 minutes ride, it's only around 8 baht, which is around less than 30 US cents as well. So the buses are way too cheap in Thailand. And the thing is that if you go with AC buses in Bangkok, they cost like around 20 baht for a 30-minute to 40-minute ride, which again is way too economical. And the thing is that these days it's way too easy to know about buses from one point to another using Google Maps. So if you have Google Maps on your phone, you can easily know about the bus from your location to your destination. So it's way too easy to use buses in Bangkok these days. The only problem is that some places do have traffic, so the buses can take more time compared to BTS or MRT. So to give you guys an example of how easy it is to find buses on Google Maps, I will give you an example of a bus from Asok to Democracy Monument. Now, let's say if I'm right now in Asok, I have to select my location over here, and then I just have to choose my destination. So I will choose Democracy Monument. So one more thing, this like I'm using browser right now, but this works same in the apps as well. So if you're using app, you will also get some results like that. So I just have to select the transit now. And as you will see, I get a lot of options for the buses for my area. So even though it's like night right now, it's like 11 p.m. right now, but yes, we still get buses even during the night time. So that's way you can easily select a bus that you want. All you need to do is you have to walk to a bus stop, and from there from the bus stop, you would be able to get into the bus. Most of the times, it's not that hard. So that's how Google Maps makes it easy to get a bus in Bangkok. So besides that, we have like normal taxis and tuk-tuks, and we also get Grab and Bolt. So Bolt is also a new app that I used on my trip in Pattaya, not in Bangkok, because in Bangkok I just use BTS and our local bus because they are way too convenient. So now talking about Pattaya, in Pattaya also we get trains, but these are not trains like city trains. So they are not like BTS or MRT, but yes, in Pattaya also there is a train system. And so the most popular form of transportation in Pattaya is going to be Songtheo. So these taxis are like public taxis, and people can just sit on them, and when they have to get down, they have to press a button on the truck, and when you press that button, the truck stops and you just pay them 10 baht, and in some cases they take only 8 baht as well. So people can easily use Songtheo or 10 baht taxis in Pattaya. And other than that, we have like normal taxis that we get in many other cities as well. And then we have Bolt and Grab as well, which makes life easier in Pattaya. And now talking about Isan, in the main cities, we get taxis. In some cities, I believe there could be Grab and Bolt, but in most cities, there are not going to be ride-sharing apps. So they are just going to be like some local taxis, and in some cities there are going to be Songtheo or 10 baht buses as well. So like in Korat, we have 10 baht buses that run on the main streets, and we have taxis as well. So it's not that hard in the cities, but in the villages, we usually don't get taxis. Some villages do have their Songtheos. So if somebody want to go to market from their village, they can just sit on that Songtheo and go to market. But most villages are not going to have their own taxis as well. Like for example, our village does not have a taxi service, so we had to buy a car. So that's the one thing to keep in mind. So if somebody wants to live in a village, they may need to buy a car as well if their village is far from the nearest town, because in most of the villages there is not going to be a taxi service. So now talking about ease of living. So to be fair, it's way too easy to live in cities, be it Bangkok or Pattaya, and it's easy to live in cities in Isan as well. But when it comes to villages, it's not like the cities, because you are going to be far from the hospitals, you are going to be far from the grocery stores and most of the things. But the thing that I like about living in villages is that it's like it doesn't have pollution. So in most of the villages in Isan, there is not going to be a lot of pollution. So there is no noise pollution, there is no air pollution. So villages kind of make life easy for retirees in this regard. So like if somebody is retired and he does not have to go out a lot, then villages are a fine place to live, because people can get a lot of land over here for a cheaper price. If somebody leases a land, and they can easily do some kind of a farming, they can have their good garden, they can grow their veggies, they can raise some animals as well. So to do these things, it's possible in villages. But if somebody is living in Bangkok, and I don't think he or she would be able to have a farm, he or she would be able to grow veggies or something like that a lot. So it's not going to be way too possible. And the thing is that in villages, it's possible to have a lot of land. It's possible to have a big house as well, even if somebody does not want to spend a lot of money. So in this regard, it's easy to live in villages, and that's what I like about living in village. We get a lot of space over here. There is little to none air pollution. There is little to none like sound pollution as well. But yes, in some villages, people do burn garbage. Like during the evening, they will just burn the garbage, because in some villages there is not going to be like garbage service, and most of people are just going to burn their garbage during the evening. So there can be a little bit pollution like that, but it's not like the cities. Like I have lived near Bangkok in Samut province, and it used to be polluted a lot. And because there were a lot of factories near, there was like vehicle pollution and so on. But in village, we don't get that kind of pollution. We don't get sound pollution as well. So it's easy to live like peaceful life over here. Now talking about the cost of living, I believe that cost of living depends from people to people. So there's not a specific metric to like tell you guys how much the differences between the cost of living in Bangkok, Pattaya and villages. But I would say is that villages are cheaper compared to cities. If somebody wants to manage their lifestyle in city for 20,000 baht a month, they can easily manage a good lifestyle in village compared to the same lifestyle in cities. But the only problem is that if somebody wants to live in a village, they will at least need to have their own vehicle. So it's easier to travel around. Even for like if somebody is living like 5 to 10 kilometers from the nearest town, they will still need a vehicle to reach that town. But in cities, you can just easily get a taxi right from your house. So it's very easy in cities, I believe. So like Bangkok and Pattaya. So that's the difference I feel. But other than that, cost of living in villages, it's cheaper because the veggies, the food is cheaper over here compared to Bangkok and Pattaya. I have noticed that. And even if you go to eat out, the food is cheaper in the restaurants over here. So to conclude this video, it all depends on the people's lifestyle. But yes, there are going to be differences between living in cities and living in villages. The villages can be boring sometimes, to be fair. I don't want to sugarcoat the things. Because in villages, there are going to be literally no foreigners. Like if you go to live in a small village, you are going to be the only foreigner in that village. And I don't see that as a problem. Like I live in this village and now people don't even see me as a foreigner. Sometimes people will talk, but they don't get excited like they used to. Like before, a few days ago, we had a function and we had a foreigner in our village and people were excited to see him. But if he just starts to live in village for a long time, people won't mind, people won't give him attention. So it's easy for a foreigner to live over here because after a while, even in the villages, people don't care. In the cities, people don't care from the beginning. If you go to live in Bangkok and Pattaya, you are a foreigner, people will give you attention, but it's just a normal attention and people won't care a lot. And in the villages, in the beginning, people will care, will give you some attention, will want to know more about you, from where you came, like which is your country, something like that. But after a while, people don't care, which is a good thing. So a retiree can choose according to his or her personal preferences, where do they want to retire. So in villages, I believe the pros are like peaceful life, less pollution, less sound. It's easy to live. The cost of living is cheaper over here. So these are the pros, and people can also live in a bigger house. People can grow veggies. People can have animals easily over in the villages. But in cities, I believe it's easy to get an accommodation. It's easy for transportation, and overall, these are the cons from the city for a retiree. I'm not talking about the normal people, like who want to go job, and so they have to live in city. I'm just talking about retirees. I will end this video over here, and I do believe that it comes down to a person's personal preferences where they want to live. So it's all about people. Every place is fine if people can make it home. I believe that. So now I've been living in a village for a long time. In the beginning, it was not easy because like the nearest town is around 20 kilometers from here. So it was not easy in the beginning, but now I feel like I have settled in. It took some time, but I feel like I like this place now. So yes, I believe that it's about people. If they like some place, they can live, even if it is a village, even if it is a city. So I will end this video now. Have a great day ahead. I will see you in the next video. Till then, peace.